Hey there, strangers. It's time for another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we are getting ourselves back into World of Warships, my Wednesday Warships gameplay, which I do every Wednesday, if anyone was kind of wondering. Now, today we're going to be continuing working on our Tier 4 ships that we have here at the moment, which there's only about 4 of them, or 4 of them. I think 3 actually. Um, so just um, it's not going to be focused on too many ships today. We're probably gonna like get some XP, yeah, or get the XP boost for like 2 of them, and then grind the third one out completely. So um, now I might try to go full bore on the cruiser. That is a tier 4. Get that up to the tier 5, just so I can kind of enjoy the battleships more today. So at least that's the plan. So we'll see whether or not um, that happens. Here, let me switch it over to webcam here. And you're gonna activate their webcam. There we go. Hi there. Um, so I'm a little late in that I haven't even checked World of Warships for any updates. So if there is one, then well, you're gonna be talking with me for a while. So uh, so sit back, relax, get comfy, and join me as um, we wait for the game to come on up and maybe update. We'll see. I forgot to push for the submarine again. Damn. Well, we're going to be getting coal today, so next week we'll probably be seeing. Um, Next week we'll probably be seeing the submarine. Maybe. I mean, I only got, what, 2 more days for practicing with the submarine, so yeah. Um, so not exactly ideal on that end. Okay, so we got some notifications on Discord here, none of which are on my own personal channel, which is okay. There are times where I kind of wish that I could just kind of snap my finger to, you know, read through all the comments and try to put in my particular opinion, if anything, if it really needs to be said, you know. Oh, yep, there we are. We do have an update. Frack. That's unfortunate. Here, let me switch it over to live, and I'll hopefully show you what it's doing, if it's gonna even show up. Are you gonna show up for me at all? Maybe. Okay, it does. Good. Okay, so And it is showing up on screen. Yay! Okay, so needless to say, I got a little bit of time before the game gets done, so we're just gonna go ahead and get back to. Um, we'll go back to webcam here. Excuse me, good. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, so uh, you know, there's so many different um, there's so many different discords that I would love to kind of participate in. Um, there's so many books that I would love to read. There's so many movies that I would like to see, and eventually, um, something has to give out. You know, you can't. It's you know, there's only so much time that you have in your life, and um, sometimes you kind of have to focus on you know certain certain focal points. You know, something that you want to put your attention on. Um, you know, it happens to the best of us. I mean, anyone. Uh, you know, let's face it. We're not getting any younger, and the you know we there's only so much that I can do in the day. You know, you know, I kind of wish that I could watch all the videos. I kind of wish that I could read all the books. You know, watch all the movies, watch all the TV shows that I want to watch, and all that kind of jazz. Okay, um, I'm sure everybody kind of feels that way in some case or another. But when it comes right down to it, um, some things take priority. Um, some, you know, a particular person takes priority, a certain subject takes priority, um, certain principle takes priority. You know, it happens. Right? Um, right now, I want to try to focus. You know, I'm trying to keep my focus on my own personal Discord. You know, which anyone can join, of course, but at the same time, um, it's always been kind of difficult for me to build a community around myself. You know, typically I've always been a follower than a leader. The times that I've been a leader, I've screwed it up. I've kind of alienated people away from me, and um, and I don't really like that feeling. I hate, you know, I try to make decisions that I feel works in the best interest for everybody involved, and in the end, it just kind of upsets, those on my team. And it always, it, being a leader, you know, sometimes you have to look at the idea that you're trying to go towards a certain goal in life. You're trying to, um, you're trying to make a company. You're trying to lead some soldiers into a battlefield. You're trying to, um, lead a club in a general direction for that specific purpose. If you have members on your team that aren't willing to kind of go along with you on that journey, um, then it it can be kind of difficult to try to motivate them towards it. I mean, if they're not willing to kind of um, participate in your journey, then sometimes you have to wonder, you know, you know, is is that the team that they want to be on? Maybe they want their own personal team. I mean, it happens. Some people want to be their be their own leader. They don't want people telling them what to do. I mean, that's fine. Um, but eventually it comes down to, um, not everybody in the entire world can be a leader. Eventually, um, you guys, everybody's gonna have to kind of come together, in certain regards um, to try to follow a certain path towards a goal. Now, I'm doing this as the mentality of the streaming for me has always been, something that I can kind of have fun with. You know, um, I never saw it as something as a um, I never really saw it too much as a career, because I know um, it takes a while to build up a community. Okay, it takes a while to kind of find your niche, and I haven't really found mine. It feels like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird feeling, really. Um, haven't really found uh, that one game that you know. Well, I've had a couple of games that people wanted to join me with. Um, Warframe, uh, World of Warships had one person that wanted to join me, um, but we were on two different servers, so couldn't really couldn't really join each other on that. We would have had like so much latency to even connect. You know, it would have been almost impossible. Um, then there's you know, I had Civilization 5 with Crab Neon, Borderlands 2 with Taku and Bubbly, Biggest, Gabe, um, you know, and a couple of random others. You know, but those four were like the ones that, you know, constantly came on back. So they kept on watching, playing with me, so on and so forth. You know, those that liked to hang out with me. And I appreciate that for those individuals. So, um, you know, but I don't really consider myself a leader. I don't really consider myself kind of leading everybody. I don't really want to be. You know, maybe people do think of me as a leader. I don't know. As I've mentioned before, I've always, you know, I've put myself into leadership positions in the past, and I've gotten into arguments with others, and it felt like I was always kind of destroying friendships that way. And it's a kind of a hard feeling to have that. Um, you know, like one time, you know, back in high school, you know, I participated in drumline. My dad wanted me to play the drums. I mean, I enjoyed music, don't get me wrong, but I never really had like an outright desire to play music. Um, you know, I didn't really see myself as a musician back in the day. I never really pictured myself as it. Um, I guess that was kind of my introvert kind of kicking in. I never really wanted to be on stage, um, you know, in front of lots of people and the like. Because I don't necessarily like to be center of attention, which is quite hilarious seeing that, you know, here I am streaming, you know, trying to be a center of attention. uh, but then again, maybe not, you know. Um, I do this for a little bit of structure. It gives me something to do. It passes my time. It keeps me busy. Keeps me kind of focused on something to do. But sidetrack. Um, so in junior high, uh, the band director, you know, there was a lot of kids trying to play the drums, trying to get on the snare drum because that was the most important. You know, everybody wanted to get on the snare drum because, you know, you wanted to play the best part. You know, you didn't want to play the bass drum or cymbals or blah blah blah. You wanted the snare drum. So everybody was shooting for it. Everybody. It was like, you know, you couldn't really get anywhere if you weren't on that snare drum. Well, I was never really given that opportunity. I was always that, you know, bass drum or cymbals or some other um, side instrument. Never really got the snare drum opportunity on that. So the director came up and said, "Listen, I need someone to learn to play the bells. Bells meaning glockenspiel, meaning um, what's the word? What's another word for it? So if you're not familiar with it, and just so you know, I'm still waiting for the download to continue yours there, folks. So this might be a while. um, the bells are uh, some people might not even know what a xylophone is. Okay, but xylophone is um, something very similar to what the bells are. Okay, the bells are a smaller version of what the xylophone is all about. It has maybe 2 or 3 octaves maximum um, of um, little metal bars that you hit in order to for it to kind of produce sound. Okay, you don't necessarily use drumsticks on them. They have their own specific kind of. Uh, they have mallets in order to produce the kind of tone that you want for it. Um, so he came forward and was like, "I need someone to play this." No one was volunteering for it, so I stepped forward and I said, "Listen, I'll learn how to play it." Okay. So I taught myself how to read music. I taught myself how to play the bells. And I didn't really have that much instruction from the music teacher. I was using the posters that he had up around the classroom. He wasn't giving me any kind of instruction on it. He was a trumpet player. He didn't really know um, uh, percussion that well. I mean, I'm sure that I mean, he was a music director, so he knew the basics. He definitely knew how to read music. I mean, that's a given. But he didn't really come up to me and say, "Okay, Jim, this is what you need to do." So I sat down, I looked at the posters, and I started just kind of writing down the notes or writing down the letters on there because the bells themselves actually had the notes laid out on it. It was like a tutorial bells. It showed, the letter and which note was which. Now, what it didn't really show was the sharps and flats. So I wasn't sure how um, that was a difficult one for me to initially grasp. But um, but I learned how to play bells, and then I got grabbed the next piece and I learned how to play that. Uh, then I heard about the high school having their drumline tryout, and I was like, oh, okay. I need to I need to find out what that's all about. I didn't hear about it at first, so I didn't even know. I was kind of shocked at that idea, and I was like, going, oh, okay. I'm gonna need to figure this out. I mean, if I remember correctly, I thought I signed up for the drum line through the selection process, but I was never really contacted about it. So I heard it from like another student. Um, so, over the summer, went to the tryout. Um, and, at first, the drumline coach just wanted me to learn how to, uh, was planning on just kind of putting me on the cymbal line, you know. And I didn't really want to do that, you know. Um, I was doing cymbals back in junior high. I really didn't want to continue doing that. Um, Maybe it was because it was just too loud for my ears. I don't really know. I never really enjoyed it. Um, yeah, no, too loud for my ears. What were you doing at band gym? Well, I never really liked super loud noises. You know, um, Gave me a headache, and here I was in band. Oh well. Probably have a lot of hearing damage because of it. I probably do. It's probably a given. There was one. Um, there was one field show where the trumpets were right at the right up at the very front. Trying to um, be dramatic for one of those epic moments. And well, yeah, I was right in front of them. If anyone ever wants to know the what hearing loss sounds like, get right in front of a trumpet line and um, have them belt out, one of their favorite parts at the loudest that they can. Yeah, it's kind of pain there. um, but I told the drum coach at the time, I said, listen, I learned how to play bells. Can I just go on the xylophone or go on bells or something like that? And he's like, you play xylophone, you play bells? Sure, you're in the pit. There was no hesitation on that. He wanted someone that was um, kind of enthusiastic for playing bells and xylophone. So so I started learning a little bit more how to be how to be faster, how to be better on it. You know, getting the hard mallets, getting the yarn mallets, and I started learning, and I got good. You know, was I the best? No, probably. You compare me with other mallet players, and um, there's you could see some players learning like the four mallets still in high school. I was still kind of stuck at the two. And yes, there are um, you know you can learn how to play the xylophone, the marimba, the vibes, the bells with more than two. You can go up to four. You can even do three per. There's not many people that can do that. Bear in mind. There's, uh, I think there's like one. Well, there's more than one person that can do three mallets, but bear in mind, okay, that trying to control, you know, two mallets per hand, three mallets per hand requires a lot of finger movement to allow to move the individual mallets the way you want them to, and still kind of keep with the rhythm, keep with, hitting the right kind of notes. Um, More often than not, it's they're kind of meant to play like chords at the same time, kind of get the uh, be able to kind of hit multiple notes at the same time to kind of produce that melody. Um, I started learning how to play four mallets in the end, but um, eventually I just kind of stopped. Never really had the full-on desire for it, and when I went into uh, when I went on to college, and I wanted to kind of check to see whether or not I can actually make something of the music that I was playing back in high school, continue with learning xylophone and the like. Um, Music teachers there decided that, or told me that um, I can't focus just um, on the mallets. If I wanted to be uh, I couldn't be a mallet player. I had to be a percussionist, which meant I had to learn everything in the percussion scope. And that irritated me a little bit. Here I was trying to focus all of my time and attention on a particular instrument that I wanted to get better at, be able to do sight reading with, learn how to control 4 to 6 mallets. Um, and these instructors said, sorry, you have to learn all of these other instruments that are out there: snare drum, bass drum, cymbals, triangle, ratchet, chimes, timpani, everything. And I was like, at that point in time, I had no desire for it anymore. I was like, no, no, I don't want to become a percussionist, you know. So I stopped, you know. Kind of sad, really. But I didn't have my own instrument at that time. Those instruments had a minimum value of $3,000 per. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm done. Time to focus on something else. But that missing the point here. That's a huge sidetrack there. The point was that I got pretty good during high school, and I didn't really, I wanted to get to a point where maybe I could play the snare drum, maybe, you know, but I didn't really have the drive for it. I wasn't practicing every day. Um, I wasn't working on my technique to play the snare drum. I mean, the coach saw it. He knew. Um, I didn't have the chops to handle the snare drum. And could I have gotten better? Probably. Most likely. I mean, if you have the time and dedication to keep on going to for a particular goal, then do it. You know, keep on keep on going towards it. You know, if that's what you want to do, keep on pushing for that. Keep on learning. Keep on practicing. You know, um, so I kept on staying in the pit, learning more techniques, learning how to control, how to, you know, be able to bounce and, you know, hitting the mallets and bouncing it. Not as easy as you might think, okay, because there's no, um, uh, when, I'm going to go a little bit into the physics of this a little bit. Okay, so when you're taking a drumstick and hitting um, the drum itself, okay, you know, snare drum, okay, you're hitting, um, you might say like a cloth style fabric. I don't really remember. It's been so long ago since I've really delved into this, but it's not like a metal or a wood kind of surface. It's more of a paper cloth kind of a material, you know, covering the surface, and then you kind of have like a little plastic on the very bottom. Now, plastic on the little bottom has these metal uh, like strings, you might say. I forget the exact term for them, but they're kind of at the bottom of the snare drum. And when you hit the top, it makes the bottom kind of vibrate, okay, kind of rubbing up against those metal strings, which causes that unique snare sound, okay. Um, but when you are um, but the purpose is that the there's there's like a little air seal within the snare drum. Okay, there's kind of like a vacuum inside the snare drum, so that when you hit the top, you have kind of the sound wave kind of reverberating down to the bass or the bottom of the snare drum, you know, to kind of create that sound. Okay. The tension that's on the top and the containing air within the bottom allows for when you hit the snare drum, your stick kind of bounces right back up a little bit. Okay, so it has a little bit of a natural bounce to it. Okay, when you are using um, yarn-based mallets, you don't have that. Um, you know, not only does the yarn itself or the mallet itself have not much bounce to it. It's not like made of rubber or anything along those lines, so you don't really have that, you know, natural bounce to it. But the notes themselves, um, you know, the wood and the metal don't really have a natural, um, you know, they don't really. I mean, unless you have the like right kind of mallet, then they're not gonna have bounce to them either. There's no pressure of air. Um, so it's a little bit more difficult to kind of create a bounce to um, when it comes to um, you know, to xylophone and bells, or at least, you know, based off of what I remember. It's been, like I said, it's been a while. But you know, I learned quite a bit during my 3 years in high school, and now some people may be on, well, 3 years. What are you talking about? Well, in my school district, high school was 3 years. You know, you had elementary school K through 6, junior high was 7 through 9, and then high school was 10 through 12. So, um, the second year of drumline, I became not like an official section leader of the pit, but I became the leader of the pit, meaning that um, I tried to guide the the players in the pit into playing the necessary music. And I didn't know everything. They brought in a music mallet teacher to try to help us out, and I had a little bit of problems with the instructor because it felt like she wanted us to keep on playing the the practice songs and not really playing the music itself. And I was like going, hey, listen, we need to learn how to play this music because if we don't learn it, we're never really gonna do well out on the field. We need to learn how to play our music, practice our music, and like you know, doing warm ups is great, but that's it. They're just meant to be warm ups. Once we're done with the warm ups, we should be going on to our music. But um, learning our music and the like. But I think she had the mentality that we should be learning the music at home or something along those lines. I don't really know. It Like I said, it's been a long time since I thought about this, to be honest. Um, but she wasn't really making it easy for us to learn the necessary music, to practice it together, to learn when, um, to kind of allow for us be, uh, to practice it alongside of the band. And that was a problem because um, if we were too slow or if we were too fast on a particular music, then we were basically out of sync with the rest of the band, and it would have caused a lot of problems, and we were having a few problems with that. Um, so I kind of butted heads with her a little bit on that. Um, you know, nice woman altogether, um, but uh, we only had a certain amount of time, and I I couldn't force the rest of the players to put even more time into it. I mean, we were in high school, we were doing other assignments, homework, and still trying to have a social life. So we couldn't, the lady was in college. She was putting a lot of her dedication into, her particular field, um, in percussion and mallets and the like. But, um, we still had a lot of work to do. Um, so at points I was like going, okay, we need to get to our music. We need to learn how to do this. So let's switch over to that, please. Um, so I was trying to be a leader for the most part, trying to um, trying to help out where I could. Um, but there were points where um, the other two members of the pit at the time, one didn't really care for it all that much, um, or at least it didn't feel like she really cared. Um, so it it got to be kind of a problem with her a bit because um, she started kind of resisting. She wasn't really learning the music as well or as fast. She didn't really. It didn't seem like she wanted to, and that kind of caused a problem because um, we were all supposed to kind of be in sync, and she didn't really want to put in time for it, and um, every single time that I was trying to encourage her to try to be in sync, to try to practice a little bit more on her particular music, um, to be a little bit better um, on that, she kind of kept on um, saying sorry, not not don't really care about it. I mean, she in the end it still sounded okay, but it was kind of like an uphill battle for me trying to convince her to um, that she wanted to be in sync with us. I had some difficulties with her boyfriend at the same time as well. He kept on coming on down while we were practicing and distracting her from our practice, which made her mess up, made her be off time. Um, and I faced up to him. I'm like, listen, I need her focused. You coming out here like this is not helping her. It's not helping us. We need to be kind of on top of our game. You have to go up into the bleachers or something like that. You can't, if you're not here with the tubas, the rest of your um, the rest of your bandmates, if you're not out on the field, I can't have you here distracting my teammate. It's like, how you know there's a time and place. So if you're distracting my team member from being the best, then you're making the entire team pretty bad. So I think because I kind of faced off against him on that, which he still didn't really back down. Um, it I think it caused a little bit of a divide. So which was kind of unfortunate. That one particular uh, member on the team, she never really kind of respected me that much anymore after that. So let's see, we are still at about 85%. So we're getting there, folks. This is what happens when you don't prepare. Gotta check for those updates before you start streaming. Um, but I had some problems with my team after that. They didn't really respect me that much anymore after that. And as much as I kept on trying to tell them, hey, please, you need to do this, you need to do that, I got pretty much the exact opposite sometimes. Um, During the spring months, which was downtime for marching band, they were no longer in season, but the drumline season kicked off. So um, so we continued to play like our music afterwards after the band season was done. So um, so we were learning brand new music. Well, during that time, that's when they were trying to figure out who the next drum major and assistant drum major would be. And that one girl that I was having some difficulties with, she decided that she wanted to try to become the assistant drum major. You know, basically to just so if you're not aware of marching band standards, typically you had the drum major being the lead of the marching band, and then you had the assistant kind of backing up the lead. Okay, and then um, the senior would graduate, the assistant would step up, and then you'd have a new person come in for the assistant. So she decided that she wanted to be the assistant drum major. I was like going, okay, well, if you want to be in the drum line, you're also going to need to practice with us as well, or you're going to have to practice on your own time to be, to stay with us. You know, you, you're basically, you need to double up your workload to stay with the drum line as well as do the assistant drum major. You can't do both here. Well, I mean, she could try to do both, but she had to put in the effort for it. And the music suffered. She could not continue playing the bells. She did not practice as much. She did not learn as fast. And I I actually had to cut her from from the pit at that point. And needless to say, she's not a best friend at all. um, you know, she wasn't she wasn't playing with us. So I had to say, listen, I have to cut you. You're you're not practicing as much with us. You're not learning the music as fast. You're not playing the music as fast. You know, I say this because me and the other member of the pit, we were, going up and down the our instruments, to the music, at the speed that we needed to have it done, and she was playing the music at half speed. So yeah, in the end, it wasn't working out. So I gave her the decision: you either pick one or the other. It can't be both. So she decided that she wanted to focus on the assistant road manager, and I was like, okay, well, wish you the best of luck. So, but she didn't make assistant and drum major either. So, um, kind of unfortunate, all told. But um, that's what sometimes the leader has to do, though, is that sometimes um, you can give a lot of the resources and patience and guidance that you can possibly give, but eventually, um, you know, if one of your teammates isn't really working out, then sometimes you have to kind of cut them. That's what being a leader is all about. Um, or you can try to find like other means. Like maybe um, instead of having that one person working on, like for example the bells or something like that, you can have them work like this smaller instruments, like triangle or something like that. Work, give them something a little bit easier um, so that they don't have a lot of the workload. She was putting a lot of workload on herself, and she was a bell player, so I was trying to keep with that. So my feeling was that um, I probably should have tried to see if she was willing to maybe step down from bells and maybe try to work on some other instrument or something along those lines, like be a focus on the triangle or ratchet or timpanis or what have you. Okay. Um, that was probably my failing on that. You know. Um, so try to work with your teammates as much as you can. Try to give them the necessary um, guidance to kind of find a means to kind of uh, work with whatever struggles that they might be dealing with. I mean, this kind of applies to all life, really. No matter what kind of business. Um, at least in my particular viewpoint. I mean that I say that while I'm still kind of unemployed, but I see it as you know um, give your teammates um, the resources that they need to grow, give them the guidance for them to grow. Um, be there for some teammates might click and no problems. Okay, you won't have any problems with them. They work with the material. They work um, with what they need to get the job done. And some might require a little bit more work to for them to kind of move and continue forward and like. And yeah, they might require a little bit more attention, but sometimes that attention, that kind of help, that kind of assistance might allow for that particular individual to become essential. You know, um, they might be one of your best because they know, or at least they should understand that, um, you're helping them out more than others. They should be able to kind of see that. They should be able to grasp that, you're willing to um, help them lift up, learn more, be better. You know, they, you know, one would should see that and recognize that. So, well, that's my uh, that's my story for today. I really probably should have put this on just chatting, huh? Seeing that it's now ready. So let's get started on this, shall we? All right. So, 1 hour into it, I'm finally done with the download. Uh, feels bad, man. Feels bad. All right. So we're going to be working on like I said, we're going to be working on the tier 4 ships today. we're going to get the XP boost for the 3 ships that I have currently at tier 4. And then I'll probably be focused on getting the cruisers, um, or the one cruiser that I have at tier 4 um, up to the tier 5. So we're going to kind of work on that a little bit more. This kind of reminds me of the dockyard in the Puerto Rico. Yeah, if anyone knows anything about that fiasco, I've already kind of said my piece on it. Matter of fact, I think I uploaded those videos, or I made them public already. So you can probably see that on my YouTube channel if you want. Or you can see them on anyone else's YouTube channels about the Puerto Rico. Oh, that was a disaster. Um, so if you're not quite sure about that, there's plenty of videos on that. No need for me to kind of beat the dead horse on that. So, um, okay, we're getting the Dockyard cinematic again. Why are we getting this? Are they putting together another ship that we'll never actually acquire? Now, it would be nice if um, they actually made the dockyard a thing. Like you could actually build ships over time. Okay, you know, um, that would be kind of a nice little feature in my particular opinion. Um, but then again, they would have to be willing to allow for um, ships to kind of be freely built. So, okay. Combat missions. Commander, we've further improved and updated the combat mission interface. You can now find everything in one stop mission drop. Huh. Okay. Here's the. It's not showing all 4 ships. Here's the 3 ships in question that I was talking about that we're going to be continuing with: the Kaiser, the Orion, and the Class Horn. Wait, is it a cruiser that, or was it the destroyer? Probably the destroyer. My bad. Um, I'm really terrible with the destroyer, so if anyone's coming here to watch fantastic destroyer gameplay, yeah, well, I do my best. Um, I'm more of a battleship player, personally. I get the I'm able to kind of get the most amount of stable, uh, hits and like with the battleships than anything else. Um, okay, so first off, let's see. Oh, right, the submarine bundles. Okay, let's go ahead and get our coal and see if the submarine shows up um, for next week or for the next bundle. Um, maybe um, maybe we'll be able to get the next bundle as a submarine, and when I play this next week, I'll be able to um, play the submarines and try it out before it fades away on the 24th. So I might have like about 2 days worth of submarine gameplay. So um, I just need to remember to try to get if I get another patch of coal, I need to hop back on tomorrow and try to go for the submarines. So, um, this is a different. Right. Okay. They changed the layout on this. It threw me off for a second. Okay. So that's interesting. Um, all right. So there's the coal. Aha! Next one is the submarine. All right. So tomorrow I'll go ahead or at the very least next week, we'll have the rental of the submarines, and we'll definitely have some submarine gameplay next week. Um, so hopefully you'll join me back here next Wednesday for some really terrible submarine gameplay. So hopefully you'll join me on that. So, uh, but obviously can't do it today. So, a lot of updates. Interesting. They kind of changed out the UI on this, so or user interface if you're just kind of curious. So interesting. Okay. New layout, new way of kind of showing things. The graphics are kind of loading in a little bit faster for me. So, all right. What's this all about? All right. All right. So we have ourselves the German here. Interesting. 1 month, 22 days left to complete the directives. Okay. So 2 months again for a dockyard build. Now, obviously, if you're playing World of Warships on a daily basis, then you're most likely going to be able to complete the directives, and um, get the ship in question built. Maybe. But if it's anything like the fiasco of the Puerto Rico, then one would hope that World of Warships has kind of learned from that. Okay, here you will be able to see all the shipbuilding phases. You can add gas-free Odin to your collection by completing them. Okay, event is scheduled to run until update 0.7. Okay. So complete shipbuilding phase 10. Obtain heavy cruiser gas free as a reward. Find the dockyard directives and combat mission selection of the port. Okay. 10 Odin. Complete all of battleship. Divided to the 20 shipbuilding phases. Only upon completing at least 2 phases for doubloons. Okay. I can't purchase a starter pack. For 8,000. What? Okay. That's interesting. Um, so Okay, so it appears that I can't even start on the ship building unless I put in 8,000 doubloons into this. There's, for the Puerto Rico, there was a counter that just kind of kept on building over time, so that you would eventually get, well, I say eventually, you would build up to the Puerto Rico. Okay, everybody was talking about how the directives were just asinine compared to what was required to um, to build the Puerto Rico free of charge. Okay, um, I think I don't know how many people were able to do it. Like I think it was like maybe one or two or so. I mean, it wasn't many. Let's just put it that way. Okay, you had to basically be grinding like 7 days a week with the top tier ships to even come close to building the Puerto Rico free of charge without any doubloon assistance. Okay, you had to constantly be working on it. So the fact that this doesn't even have any kind of counter or anything along those lines isn't really giving me uh, I'm not really that impressed with this already because once again they're looking for money to start off with. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a game company. It wants to generate money so that they can pay for their employees and the like. I get that. Okay. Um, I personally can't do anything right now. Okay. I'm trying to survive. So I can't put money into other people surviving right now. So um, it's kind of a sad state of affairs that I'm currently in right now. So already I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, nothing I can do. So let's look at these directives here. Um, okay, so once again, we're already at tier 5 or above ships, tier 6, 12 spotted ribbons, co-op battle, ranked battle, random battle. Okay, so get 12 capture assistant, sure. 2 million credits, okay. 18 destroyed ribbons. Okay, well, So this allows for oh there goes my headset again. God damn it. I really need a new headset. Um earn 30,000 base XP, okay. Uh hey there, Legend. How you doing there, bud? Welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's see. We are wait, we were getting some more oh, this is for cruiser itself. Okay, they're really kind of isolating the ships and like on this now. Mm, 50 incapacitation ribbons with an aircraft carrier. In one battle, get 14 torpedo hits. Oof, okay. Or get 6 torpedo hits with a particular ship. Okay, interesting. So, there's quite a few directives on this. And you're getting some amount of shipbuilding phases rewards for certain. You're only getting like 3. You're only getting 3 phases out of this entire directive right now. Okay, what about directive number 2 then? Okay, why did you start at the bottom there? I don't really know. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 3 more there. Okay, so in other words, in order to get even to the tier, um, to get to like the 10th phase, you're gonna have to get to at least the 4th directive on this, based off of what I'm looking at here. So there's 1, 2, 3. That's looks like you're only getting 3 per. Is that true? Yeah, this is 3 per. You're only going to get 18 out of this. 18 shipbuilding phases. There's 20 shipbuilding phases to go through. Even if you were to complete all 6 of these, you would not be able to reach the level 20, or the 20 directive, or the 20th phase. Am I seeing that correctly? Are they really doing this again? Did they seriously just kind of screw? You have to be a game company that's willing to kind of work with your player base. Okay, if you're looking for money, you're gonna want to try to, um, you need to kind of be willing to work with your player base. There are some people that actually want to, you know, put the money in towards your doubloons. Okay, but at the same time, there are some of us, unfortunately, that can't. And you're saying that you can't get to either one of these 2 phases with just the directives alone. You have to be putting money into it. What was the doubloons again? How much for the doubloons? And the 8,000 doesn't really look like it's guaranteeing a single directive or a single phase, or at least based off of what I was looking at there. Okay, so you have to complete all 6 directives to get to get to 18. Um, okay, so um, okay, it was 8,000 doubloons, right? That's not even 30 bucks. Yeah, it's you're looking at basically $33 if you're doing it that way. Just to start off with, at minimum. Sometimes. Whew. Okay, so um, just want to let folks know. Okay, last week I didn't have a great connection because I just moved into the room. Um, Last week I was getting like 90 megs of upload and download speed, so um, I had to switch over to co-op battles for my gameplay. I'm gonna try to do once again the random battles and see where it takes me. Hopefully, seeing that I've doubled that amount, I'm now sitting around 200 on my internet speed. Um, I'll be able to kind of participate in the random battles a little bit better. So, so we'll see what happens there. Um, Here, let me go ahead and check out the combat missions here a little bit. Right, that's great. Thanks. Don't need to show this new anymore. Um, Tier 6, okay. Um, Complete all missions and chain successively. Play about all Tier 6 and more. Okay. That's the other thing that I have a problem with the with World of Warships. They don't really give any kind of love to like the lower tiers. Um, Thanks there, Legend. I appreciate the donation there, but um, I, I I really do appreciate it. You didn't need to do that though. You didn't need to do that. So, but thank you. Um, okay, so we're going to. It's it's kind of unfortunate that they don't give a lot of love to their lower tiers, but it is what it is. So, um, they're looking for the people that give them a whole. Uh, they're giving a lot of love to those that just kind of dump money into them. Which I mean, gotta give love to those that um, um, that are kind of helping you out as a company. Obviously, just kind of wish that there was a little bit of love for the lower tiers too. So, okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna go switch over to the random battle. Let's go ahead and switch to our destroyer here. We're going to continue working towards the tier 5. Um, still got to get the next fire control, and then we'll start working on building up our XP for the tier 5 ship, and then we'll switch on over to our battleships, which, oh, right, okay. So I can actually purchase the Tier 5 Iron Duke already. I have the XP for that. I was able to get jingles all the way. So, haha. So we just need to get the Koenig up to that. So I might actually kind of focus on the Koenig a little bit more today to get it up to the Tier 5, which shouldn't be that bad. It depends on whether or not the random battles work or not. So we'll switch over to our destroyer, ones that I really have a tough time with, and we'll continue kind of we'll see whether or not my connection gives me a little bit of lag. Crossing fingers that it doesn't. So, um, but I did double my speed, so hopefully at the very least it will drop me into the um, like right at the very beginning of the match, you know, when they ships count down. So we'll see what happens there. So um, oh, this is not a good sign. Normally it shows the screen with all the ships and like. I might need to just stick with co-op from here on out. Okay, so everybody on that side has already been kind of loaded in. Uh, they're already moving. The match has already begun, and I'm still loading in. Uh, see, there I am right there. So not a great start. So okay, uh, the connection I have can't hold to doing random gameplays. So we're gonna stick with co-ops from here on out, there, folks. And unless there's some way I can figure out how to boost my connection speed back to the 400 or so that I was having prior, or maybe figure out some other method. I'm not sure. Um, so there we go. Oh, oh, no, no, lag. Don't do that. Okay. Whoa! No, 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 no. Why are you aiming for me, damn it? Oh, shit. This isn't good. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, that was not great. Ah, damn. Oh, just barely missed that battleship. Ay, oh boy, we are having some major lag issues right at the moment. That's kind of unfortunate, but oh, all right. We're gonna try to go in on the Wyoming and like. Oh, we got some lag. Let's not do that. All right, here we go. His guns are facing the other way, so I might be able to kind of get to him quickly so that I can dump some torps into him. Protector is gonna um, cause some problems a little bit, but let's see about uh, oh, oh, lag, don't do this to me. Oh, wow, okay, that hurt a lot. Ah, did I not get the second volley of torps off? I know I hit it. Oh well. That guy did a lot of damage to me for using AP rounds. That was ridiculous. AP rounds should have sliced through my ship and not done a whole lot of damage. That was like some Citadel hits right there. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna stick with co-op missions from here on out on this. I don't have the connection right now to handle the um, handle the player versus player right now. So it's just the way it is right now. So until until I can figure out some way of kind of boosting my signal in some fashion or another, um, we're just gonna have to stick with co-op battles for World of Warships right now. That was it's kind of difficult um, to maintain gameplay and the like for that. So it is what it is. So um, let's see. CV, start heading east. Northwest front is failing. And that goes for you there, industrial bulldozer. Get moving. Now, if some of these ships over here could kind of angle themselves to kind of take on um, the two battleships and the destroyer that is to the northwest, then um, they'll probably be in good shape. But Um, it's looking like everybody's kind of going, trying to attack Superman, it seems like, which seems kind of counterproductive here. Um, if I was Sable here, um, I would try to focus on hitting that Wyoming and um, the two battleships that are up there. Maybe taking out the Iokaze as well, um, but obviously that requires a little bit of stealth and the like, so he's gonna have to kind of work with that. So yeah, try to hide in the try to work on getting. Oh, he got spotted. You're gonna want to stop if you want to stay in that smoke screen there, pal. Okay, there's the one destroyer. Oh, there goes one aircraft carrier. That's not ideal because now you're dealing with. Oh, now you're dealing with everything with not a lot of aircraft carrier support. So okay, we're doing pretty good so far. Their aircraft carriers are pretty much focused on trying to take out, our aircraft carrier, which I mean, sure, but right now those aircraft carriers are more in danger by these two ships coming up from sea than they are from anywhere else. So they're going to want to switch their attention from the aircraft carrier that they're trying to attack to these ships that are getting closer within range of their ships. So, see, Crazy Sun is once again trying to put a little bit more pressure on the aircraft carrier, um, and like, He just ran aground. Oh, there's one aircraft carrier. A bad decision, really, in that he's using AP rounds to kind of go through the, or he's firing HE, or he's finally, I can speak. Um, he's trying to fire AP rounds into the uh, aircraft carrier, armor piercing, but armor piercing just goes straight through the aircraft carrier. The HE rounds are better overall for handling light armored vehicles such as aircraft carriers um, and destroyers. That's why it kind of surprised me by the amount of damage that one battleship did to me because um, the um, AP rounds just you know punch through the armor, and if you have light armor, it's just going to go straight through. It's not really going to do a lot of damage to it. HE rounds don't really have that kind of problem. It kind of bursts on impact, so that's why HE rounds tend to be a little bit better with lighter plating armor. So they're great for against destroyers and aircraft carriers for the most part. For the most part. So, all right. So now this wasn't as bad as last time around, meaning that last time I did the random battle last week, I was it was the match was like halfway over um, before I was even allowed into the game. So this one was better, but obviously not the best. Um, so we'll need to kind of we'll go ahead and purchase this, and then we will go ahead and um, we're close to having another level on that. So we're going to be kind of grinding the destroyer here a little bit. So um, so we are done with this now. I really do like um, having Jingles as as a captain, but as soon as I boost him up into the Iron Duke, um, I'm gonna like lose all of his XP. You know what? I'm gonna play one match with Jingles here, just so I can try to get the 760 necessary for his next level, so I can purchase the tier 3 experience points, and then we'll go ahead and switch captains, or I'll purchase the Iron Duke. We'll move the um, cap from the tier 4 up into the Iron Duke. We'll leave Jingles here on the Orion, and then we'll kind of grind out Cap's experience points a little bit with the Iron Duke. So we're going to switch this over to co-op battle from here on out. So let's go ahead and start the battle with the Orion. So let's go ahead and start this up. Co-op battles are just a little bit easier because it just kind of, you know, seeing that you're going up against AI, you know, you don't need to worry too much about it. Although I've had some missions where my team has failed against the AIs before, but it kind of waits for everybody to load in for the most part. I don't have to, like, I don't really have to kind of stress out about that. Okay, someone's smoking up early. Sure. Had a little bit of lag there. No worries. Okay, I'm currently on HE, but that's okay because there's about 6 or so ships that will kind of be um, that can kind of take a lot of damage with the HE rounds. So, and none of them hit. Okay. A little bit of lag again. Yeah, we already got some people running into each other. Yeah. Let's see, we'll go ahead and shoot on the Myogi here. Maybe we'll cause some fire damage. Yeah, we did. Nice. Oh boy. Okay. This isn't great. Yes, Jingles. We killed an aircraft carrier. Even though that was a destroyer. But that's okay. Because, you know. Okay, let me go ahead and try to. Oh. Yep. Okay. Let's switch over to AP rounds here. Oh, wrong. Angling the wrong way. Let's go this way. Oh, I'm I'm just being stupid, aren't I? Yes, I am. Be helpful if I knew which direction to actually kind of go backwards in, right? And now we have... Ooh, nice. Well, this isn't great. Alright. That hurt a lot. Alright. Oh no, an allied cruiser, no! Alright. Alright, so now we're in search of the enemy aircraft carrier, which it's looking like it's all the way up in like around 1B or so. C2, okay. Let's see. Switch over to the HE. I already had the AP loaded, so I might as well fire them off, right? Hey, got a Citadel hit. Nice. Now, you can get that. You can get those Citadel hits, you know, on an aircraft carrier. It's just not that common. You know, um, you can still kind of get those Citadel hits even with like the HE rounds, and you can do more damage overall, and you can set it on fire. So overall, HE is just kind of typically the best when it comes to hitting aircraft carriers for the most part. All right. Yeah, the aircraft carrier kind of turn around a little bit. Let's see. Nice. Wait, what? That was a way overshot. What the hell? Okay. Whatever. Yeah, whatever works, right? Okay. So that's gonna be where that ends. Let's see. We should have gotten enough. Well, maybe not. When you're playing AI battles, you don't get as much XP out of it. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll battle on. We'll give Jingles his next level. Then we'll bump the ship. We'll purchase the next tier ship, and then we'll sell off the tier 3 British battleship, move the captain over to the um, uh, tier 5 ship, leave Jingles here on the Orion, and then we'll uh, uh, we might not be using Jingles as much as a battleship captain after that. I'll probably be using um, Cap as as the individual here. All right. So I'm gonna angle and try to go to A here um, as the initial. Um, Now, if anyone's wondering, well, Jim, why are you doing that? Well, um, typically when you are, you know, in this game, you really don't want to have ships on both sides of you. Okay, if you have ships on both sides of you putting a lot of fire, you know, a lot of shots into you, you're gonna die pretty fast. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to try to collapse their front instead of the other way around. Going straight into enemy territory like that, sure, you might be able to kind of get some pretty decent attacks off. You might be able to get some, um, you might be able to destroy a ship or two. But more often than not, you're going to be, um, you're just kind of be, oh, 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 nice. Okay. Surprised this guy didn't die too. This is AI, by the way. You can tell by the semicolons next to their names. So, um, wait. Why give us aircraft carriers if you don't have a player that's playing an aircraft carrier? Yeah, whatever. Um, let's see. Go ahead and focus on this guy a little bit. There we go. Not too shabby. Okay. He's angling it in the wrong direction, so I'm going to focus my attention back on the Wyoming over here. Let's switch over to AP now. We're getting closer to the battleship here, so. Okay. We got ourselves a fire on that ship, so that's going to be good. His guns aren't angled towards me, so that's decent. So his focus is elsewhere. So let's see if we can get some citadels on him. Yeah, not as much as I wanted. Okay. Lost track of him. Got some problems with... There we go. And... Woohoo! Oh, damn. If I can just get one tiny shot off of him, on him. Ah, no, he's repairing. Ah, damn it. I had him so close to being killed. Let's see. That didn't really make it over the island. Damn it. I need to get around this island or I'm not going to be able to hit this guy. Got him. Ooh, nice. Well, it's okay. I mean, the 2 pens, but there we go. Haha, no damage. Try again. Another 2 pens. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and keep on facing off against this guy. We're gonna shoot once more from this side here, and then we're gonna angle over to the other guns, or switch sides. So there we go. Now get the guns moving. Oh, I only got 1 penetration. Damn. The reason why I'm doing this is that seeing that I'm heading down to, um, I'm gonna head down to the capture point B, and also get my guns to kind of focus on him a little bit while doing so. So, but it just means my 3, 4, and 5 aren't going to be able to do as much. So, maybe by the time they angle around, the next volley will be loaded. But we'll see what happens. Alright. He's behind the island, so nothing I can do about that right now. But it gives me time to get the 3rd, 4th, and 5th gun into the right angle. This also allows for my secondaries to kind of open up on this guy once I get closer to him. Still not past the island here. Okay, he's angling away, so that kind of helps me out a little bit. In that his guns aren't focused on me right now. But I only got 1 penetration out of all that. Damn. Someone set a fire on him, which... Wow, okay. Yeah, that hurt a little bit. Trying to lead the battleship there, and I shot over it. It's kind of unfortunate. And... Oh, well, yep. Oh well. Alright, so that should have given me enough, yeah. Gave me enough to get the next level for Jingles. So now we'll go back to ports. We'll go ahead and give him the next level. Then we'll swap out and we'll purchase the next ship in the British battleship line. And then we will go ahead and set the next the ship captain that's on the tier 3 battleship over to the tier 6 or the tier 5. So um, 6 cylinders repairs, which is good for a battleship. Survivability expert is also really good, because as you 350 per tier, you're looking at 3,000 more HP for like a tier 10 battleship, which I mean isn't a lot, seeing that your guns are going to be doing you know um, your guns themselves could be doing that amount of damage in one volley. It might still kind of keep you alive. So basic fire training is also good. Reload time for main battery guns with a caliber up to including, and secondary continuous damage by AA mounts, this is really good for a battleship player, in my opinion. Okay, because it just means that you're able to fire off your main battery guns, which are slow as hell anyway, a little bit faster. So, uh, if you need this many consumables, then um, you might be having a problem with playing a battleship captain. Excuse me, hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, so don't get me wrong. You know, having some extra health or other extra consumables as a battleship captain, wouldn't necessarily hurt because that it just means that you can recover your HP just a little bit more, especially if you're in some pretty difficult, um, some pretty difficult matches. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but at the same time, you're going to be able to do a lot more damage overall with, basic fire training and being able to, recover from fire and flooding faster, because believe me, you're going to be set on fire. You're going to have some occasional flood, especially if your repair module is on cooldown and you get hit with a flood. Believe me, this will help, in my opinion, a lot more than the superintendent as a battleship. Just saying, okay, because this allows for not as much damage over time than allowing for you to kind of recover for one. It might be like equivalent per se, but at the same time, um, as you kind of expand as being a battleship player, you're going to be getting set on fire quite a bit. So, yeah. Uh, Now, HE, from what I understand, for British ships, is a um, can be can be quite uh, ruthless. I've heard that British ships cause fires a little bit more often than not. So this one right here might be pretty decent because if you get your secondaries in range, then you're most likely going to be setting a lot of fires. And if you're using HE shells yourself, then this also has the potential of causing a little bit more fires. I mean, not much. I mean, it's only 2%. But, I mean, when you have your secondaries going off on somebody, that might make or break. So, um, this might help you in that, if there's like a destroyer outside of your range and they're launching torpedoes at you, this gives you a little bit of time to try to angle yourself a little bit better, maybe, but it might not always be that great. So, um, and even then, battleships move like a truck anyway, so they're, you know, um, so being able to see these guys a little bit faster might save you from getting like maybe a torpedo hit or two, maybe. I don't know. But this one right here, I think, overall exceeds everything right at this time. So, but there's still a lot of skills that you might want for the tier 3. You know, just these two alone could help you quite a bit. So, um, but we're gonna go ahead and build up to the fourth ability, which um, you don't really need to worry about the concealment expert. This is great for destroyers, in my opinion. Not so much battleships. Battleships can be spotted um, from quite a bit of ways. Plus, you're going to be using your main battery guns anyway, so you're going to be detected. Okay. If Now, if you're using a battleship that had like torps kind of thing, and you wanted to sneak up on someone, maybe this might help you. But in my opinion, it doesn't really help as much. So, not necessarily for battleships. For cruisers and destroyers, sure. Battleships and aircraft carriers, not so much. Not to say that it might not, it might help you, on occasion. That's like on occasion though. It's not going to be, um, you're not going to be in those kind of situations all the time, so it's not as helpful as say some of these others that are out there. So just letting you know, Um, I would put the points more towards some of these others like the manual control secondary, um, the um, maybe the firing range a little bit more, maybe. But yeah, all right. So we are done with that. We go back to the port. Actually, let's see. Go to modules. We purchase the Iron Duke by researching. And then we don't need a commander, so without a commander. And we purchase that ship. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to select the British line. We're going to select our tier 3 battleship, and we're going to tell our captain here that we want him to be reassigned to the tier 5 Iron Duke. And then there's that. Right. So now we have Cap being the captain of the Iron Duke from here on out. We'll leave Jingles on the tier 4 for now, but once we get the tier 5 battleship up to the um, Queen Elizabeth, then we'll go ahead and move Jingles on over to it. But yeah, that's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. So, all right. So let's go ahead and move that. We're going to select the tier 4s again. We're going to select the non-elite. So we just have the 2 ships now. And now I think we're going to just go ahead and focus on, well, You know what? Let's. Well, I'll be able to do more kills with the destroyer in the co-op battle than I would on the survival or the PvP. Um, but at the same time, I'd really like to kind of focus more on the I'd like to kind of get a little bit more experience as a destroyer captain in PvP a little bit more, but yeah, the this is going to take a while to build up on co-op. So let's go. We'll just finish off one round with the Koenig, and then we'll switch over to the class one and just kind of try to grind on the class one. It's not going to be great. I'm not going to be as I've mentioned before, I'm not the best when it comes to the destroyer line. So you'll just have to kind of accept that. If you're coming in and saying, Jim, you suck at a destroyer. Well, yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. I already know. All right. Let's see. Okay, so everybody on our team is here, so that's good. Um, so we're just gonna kind of go straight for the B. All right. Now, I'm hoping that the Wyoming here will kind of angle more towards the um, starboard a bit to kind of give a cross attack, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like the Furutaka is also headed towards B. Okay. Let's see. There's not a whole lot of um, there's not a lot of destroyers, so I'm probably going to be switching over from HE to AP pretty soon, or pretty quickly. So I don't know why you're using the search here there, bud. And it's a little early for your range there. Uh-oh. This Phoenix is going to get in the way of my guns pretty soon if he's not careful. There we go. There we go. 4 penetrations. Well, I can't really angle towards him. Okay. Let's switch over to APs here real quick. kind of focus on the Kaiser a little bit more. Oh, there's two Kaisers. Alright. Phoenix, what are you doing there, bud? Alright. And now we're angling towards the other Kaisers here. And see about trying to get some of these guns to bear on them. Alright. So you get these guys. Oh, I wanted that one. Ah. Fuck. It was focused on this Kaiser right here, so the shots went short. So wait. Well, that CV player was stupid. You don't get that close to the front lines with a CV. You're basically asking to be paddled. He's not really focused on me. Ooh, that's a paddling. Okay, so we're already down to about the same number of ships right at the moment. Oh. Alright. So I'm gonna kind of focus on um, those two guys are gonna be able to kind of take out the Kaiser, or at least they should be able to. I'm gonna kind of go for the aircraft carrier. There you go. Here's him. Alright, now, where is the aircraft carrier? There he is. Let's switch over to HEs here real quick. Oh, wait. There he is. All right. I hope that Omaha can take out. Okay. What the hell was that, game? Again, another incapacitation without damage. It's like, what the hell, guys? Oh, don't do that to me. God damn it. Still not getting a whole lot of penetration on this. Oh no. They didn't get the last kill. switched over to AP to try to get the like the full penetration and go, have the AP go straight through the entire ship. So that allowed for the other cruiser to kind of step in and take the loss of the damage. Oh well. Let's see. Okay, so that gives the experience boost for what it is for the Kaiser. So we'll go ahead and switch on over, or we'll switch back over to the destroyer, and we'll keep on grinding away at that one using on the go-out battles. So. Let's go ahead and collect these containers here. Open up that one. Hey there, Twitch. Flags as always. Now we're going to go ahead and select a container, which always got to try my luck, right? So. And just a regular container. Or I guess you might say a sub-container. Maybe we'll just get the free XP. Oh, coal. Okay, that works. I don't mind. I don't mind coal. Because there's ships that I can purchase with coal, so. Alright, so there's that. So now we're just going to go full bore, just constant grind on the destroyers from here on out. So, we'll see what we can do on this. Now, just to remind you, next week we'll start looking in on doing those practice submarine battles. So if you want to see what that's all about, then you can check in on that. See the submarine gameplay. I mean, if you're not already playing the submarines anyway. If you're like, constantly playing World of Warships, then you probably already have it by now. But next Wednesday is when I'm going to be streaming it, so. All right. We'll angle down south. Okay, I was wondering if Prowler was coming with me or not. Okay, so now we're going to see about trying to capture point C. Pablo, if you can kind of give me eyes on the other destroyer, that would be fantastic. Okay, oh, there he is. Nope. He's already gone, okay. Nope, okay. Oh, ooh, wahaha. There. Now let's go ahead and hunt down that aircraft carrier. Sorry, Major Frank Burns. I'm gonna kind of try to squeeze on, try to race you to the Langley here, bud. That cruiser is definitely keeping up with me, that's for sure. Here I am with a speed boost going 40 knots, and this cruiser is still kind of staying up with me, or staying with me on that. Okay. That cruiser went out. How that cruiser is able to maintain the same speed that I was going with the destroyer is wow. Even with a speed boost, he was still able to keep up with me. I need to see what the top speed for this guy is because that seemed quite excessive. 40 knots, or close to 40 knots. Ow. Okay. The fact that it was the equivalent same speed as me with a engine boost on it. Granted, it's a tier 5, And 5 times the horsepower? Oof. Wow. That was, oh yeah. Those, uh, those French cruisers, man. They're no joke on their speed, that's for sure. Oh, I forgot to turn on the game sound. I'm sorry about that. I mean, not that it matters all that much, but you guys weren't hearing jingles at all. I'm sorry. Wish someone would let me know.
I need intelligence data. Battle starts. Good luck, everyone.
All right.
Affirmative.
Turn a little bit, please.
All stations, defend that area.
Let's see.
Ah, Neptune's beard. Denied. Acknowledged. I need help. Roger.
Someone's having some fun with their quick messages.
Acknowledged.
Oh, stop logging out on me. I don't need it to log out right now. Not the best time for that. Nope. Hello. I missed him. Oh, all right. Missed him. Oh, no, I got him. Oh, nice.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
Gotta get closer to the Charleston here. No, 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 no. Stop lagging on me. Stop lagging on me, please. This is a very bad situation to be in right at the moment. Because those guys have cannons on both sides, and that could ruin my day.
Engine boost activated.
That didn't really do much.
Critical engine damage.
Come on, don't do this to me.
Problem solved, sir. Our team has taken the lead.
Oh no! Ow!
Our team has taken the lead.
I kind of stole my kill. Of course, it doesn't help when I'm lagging out a bit, but what can I do? Alright. Majority of the enemy is over in the upper left right at the moment, so... Yeah, I got my one kill, so I mean, it's good enough. You know, could be better, could be worse. We're gonna try to angle so we can get
Engine boost
up to them as
deactivated.
quickly as we can so they can dump some torps into them. But most likely I'm not gonna see the possibility of killing this guy. It's looking like I can get, yeah, they're already dumping torps into a Myogi there. So there he goes. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and continue battle on. Hope for, you know, not as much lag, but I mean it's gonna happen. So just gonna have to accept it. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's gonna be for a while, so okay. Looks like we're once again. Okay, so got a couple of AIs on the team there. Let's see who's.
Action stations.
Oh, you're an AI. Alright.
Let's give them a hard time. Acknowledged. Stone the crows. I owe you one. Engine boost activated. I need help.
Oh no! Don't lag out on me, please. Yep. Come on, can you fire, please?
Set a smoke screen.
No, no, don't lag on me, damn it. Oh, oh, where are you? No, 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 don't lag. Don't lag. Please don't lag.
Engine boost deactivated. We
Gotcha.
destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Alright.
Our team has taken the lead.
Gonna work on capturing the area first before we move on. Damn it. There we go. Oh, okay. Same. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Where exactly was that aircraft carrier? Let's go hunt him down. Oh, let's not go in the direct path of the aircraft there. Oh, was still detected. Damn it. Okay.
Engine boost activated.
I'll just go ahead and shoot him a little bit. Gone. Nice. I was afraid that my shots weren't really gonna, my first set of torps wasn't gonna hit him because it was kind of further back, but still hit him. So, hey, got 3 kills. Nice. All right. So we're on this side now. Okay, so just got two other players with me. That's fine. You know, this is kind of what I kind of wish that the um that the random battles would be like. It would make sure that everybody's loaded in before it started the countdown timer. But on the other hand, I mean, I can understand, others being kind of salty about it because it would just mean that you're pretty much limited by um, other people's connection speeds, and you just want to go from one mission to the next, one battle to the
Engine boost
next. So
activated.
I can understand them wanting to have a set amount of time before the match starts. So yeah, no lag. Don't do this to me, damn it. Still don't have torps up and running yet. Yeah.
Engine boost deactivated. Our team has taken the lead.
Oh, got him.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Oh, there goes.
Victory is in sight.
There goes that guy. Now, can I get into? Oh well, a reset. So I'll definitely be in the circle to capture point A. Um, all right. Okay, I think that South Carolina's gonna die pretty soon, so I'm not gonna even bother with them. I'm just gonna go for that Hosho. So,
Engine boost activated.
I'm in hunt of the CV. Dun, dun, oh, there's some more lag. Yeah, see, I knew he was gonna die fairly soon, so. Oh, all right. He's moving in that general direction, huh? Damn bots indeed.
Engine
Yeah.
boost deactivated. Our victory is in sight.
Don't. I don't know how many torps hit him, but it wasn't enough. Here we go. And boom. Wait. Okay. A little bit of a lag spike there. Alright. We got beat out by an AI player. Oh, feels bad, man. uh, nice. All right, let's continue going. Or continue moving on here. Um, yeah, not sure. Hmm. I mean, I'm trying to think of if there's something that I can do to um, get the um,
Battle starts. Good luck, everyone.
to boost the um, internet connection. Um, I mean, I don't want to put a Ethernet cord all the way across the entire house just to try to connect. So, I mean, and even then, I don't actually have an Ethernet cord that has that kind of range as well. Anyway, but no, oh, lag, don't do this to me. Oh, hello, Kaiser. Let me get close to. Oh, there we go. That's not good. Okay.
Engine boost activated.
Oh, already with a player down. Feels bad, man. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to swing around this island and try to catch the Kaiser with a little bit of a sneak attack here, using the island as cover, and with the speed boost in full effect, that should give us a little bit of time to kind of get close to oh, no, don't do that. Come on, get out of there. Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Fuck. That lag spike had me go right into the island. It oversteered for me, and it's like, oh, fuck, why? Okay, his guns are still kind of trained on, uh, enemies to the... I don't like the way that guy's heading. No, oh, oh, don't.
Engine boost deactivated.
Bacon, you're getting really in the way of my torps right at the moment. No, 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 give me... There we go.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Wait, what happened to all of our guys? What happened to their base? What the? Oh gosh. Okay. We should have lost. We should have lost right there. They had us dead. They had us dead to rights. If they kept all their ships inside of our base, we would have lost there.
Our team has taken the lead. Engine boost activated.
They're both going after those guys that are up there. Okay. If those two destroyers had stayed in our base, we would have lost. I don't know. That's kind of a failing on the artificial intelligence there. They had the possibility of winning the game there, but their focus was so much on the
Our team has taken the lead.
killing the enemy side that um, now they're gonna lose. I mean, there's no question about it. There's these guys are gonna lose their lives to you know all of us, Pumpkin Slinger, Bacon, Me Love It, Fruit, and what was that, Bryce? So if they had just stayed in the camp circle, they would have won. Failure on the AI, that's for sure.
Engine boost deactivated.
Yeah, there's one down. There goes the battleship. Oh, lag. Missed him. Missed him again. Yep, and there he goes. Okay. We continue on with the co-op battles as we hunt down the elusive ships. All right.
instructions. Good luck, everyone. Thank you.
Alright, now if it's anything like previously, then they're probably going to hold to the same pattern, which means that one of the destroyers is going to show up right at this point right here. So once the torpedoes are loaded, then we're going to go ahead and dump them off down here. Yep, there he is.
Engine boost activated.
Missed that guy. Alright. That's kind of unfortunate. Oh, hello. No, 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 no. Oh, 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 oh. That was close.
Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir.
I was lucky. I was lucky there. No, come on, don't do this to me, damn it.
Enemy cruiser destroyed. Team has taken the lead.
The lag is killing me. Well, not killing me, but alright. We'll just back it up till we get to about here, and then we'll
Engine boost deactivated.
head after the aircraft carrier. Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to a spot where I can dump some torps down the battleships. So let's just not even try. Besides, there's um, already one destroyer that's getting close enough to torp them, so angling for the carrier there.
Victory is in sight.
And so is everybody else.
Our victory is in sight.
Yeah. Well, the carrier is the last one, so I mean it makes sense. Oh, I don't even have the range for the guns yet. He turned away from me. That's not great.
Engine boost activated.
There he goes. There he goes. Oh well. At least I got one kill out of it, so it's good enough. Alright, we'll keep on playing around with the co-op battles. So, um, yeah, so I don't know what I can really do about the, uh, um, about the internet connection. Um, I've pretty much set up the best that I can do at this particular juncture. I mean, the next best thing is trying to find some way of either boosting the signal somehow, which um, that that you know who knows if that's going to be even possible, um, or trying to find some way of getting a box here in this room for a constant signal. So um, both of which requires um, who knows how much money to get that done. So yeah, probably not gonna happen. So we're probably gonna be seeing um, co-op battles from here on out for the uh, World of Warships for the time being. Which means, oh god damn it, stop overcompensating. The lag is really throwing me off here. Um, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. We already have someone at sea. Don't really have any kind of. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Stop lagging on me. Stop lagging on me. Stop lagging on me.
Torpedoes to starboard. The ship is on fire.
I set a fire. Got him.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
No, don't do this to me. Alright. Let's see. Let's go ahead and try to get super close to this guy. So we can just lob a whole bunch of torps down him. There we go. Oh, don't do this to me now. Fuck. Gotcha.
Enemy cruiser destroyed. Our team is
Okay. We're just gonna go ahead and capture the rest of the circle here. Okay, and we're good. Now we're off to hunt the Wyoming, which is probably not gonna happen. But we can always boost to see if we can get there. There's way too many ships though. I'm seeing what, um, four, five, five different ships on one. He's not gonna last. Oof, oof, oof. That Wyoming gave him a paddling. But he was able to return fire, so, or he was able to, those torps kind of did the death afterwards kind of scenario. So, okay. We got about 15 minutes before I have to close everything out. So, okay. That's a lot of peaks. Someone named themselves the Stig.
action stations.
I must say that that would be kind of like an interesting um, choice in terms of
Engine boost
um,
activated.
it would be kind of like an interesting choice for like a motif or a style for the channel. You know, getting in that full racing outfit. You know, the full racing motif with the white helmet. You know, to kind of try to show that you're the Stig, you're the professional race car driver. But then again, why would you be playing why would you be playing World of Warships? If you want that kind of motif, you'd want to have the racing games. So, go to like GTA 5 or something like that and just kind of uh, play. Um, oh, don't lag out on me now. Boy, everybody's trying to help and kill me here. Nope.
Engine boost deactivated.
So let's see. Oh, no, 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 no,
Enemy
no, no.
destroyer blown
God,
up.
you were trying to kill me. Damn it, you stupid game. Ah, these guys are still kind of after me a little bit.
Our team has taken the lead.
Ooh, Citadel hit. Nice. I know that's probably not going to hit anyone, but at the same time, I don't want to be throwing torps down. Ooh, hello.
Enemy cruiser
Nice.
found.
Easy kill. Sorry for anyone that put a whole lot of damage into him and me stealing it, but... Oh, hello. No, no, don't lag out on me again. Let's see. We're gonna wait until... There we go. Right amount of time. Come on, don't lag out on me that badly, please. Nice. Oh, looks like we. Oh, okay. Well, that's that was a thing. I only hit him once. Fuck. Come on, come on, come on! Don't do this to me. No, wait, that guy. Oh, ow. That hurt a bit.
Problem solved, sir.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, 14 torpedo hits, 63K isn't too bad. Too bad that I wasn't able to finish these guys off, but you know. See, I don't know why this guy's throwing out his smoke like that. If I was him, I'd go straight in to torp these guys. He's causing more problems for his teammates as well because now they might. Well, I mean, they can still kind of see him, but still, um, the smoke can be a blessing and a curse. So, see, and there he goes. Can't see him anymore. Congrats. And boom. Nice. So, yeah, just those two battleships right there. Oof. Okay, so that is going to be it for today on this. Um, we're going to go ahead and call it. I know that I'm calling it a little early, but to be honest, I'm getting a little bit bored of the co-op battles, especially with the destroyer. Um, because it's not that exciting. You're not really going up against another player. It's not as intense or uh, the when you're going up against the other players, they normally take evasive maneuvers. They can, they normally are able to kind of predict where you're kind of going towards or the like. Um, so it's a lot harder to win on the random battles and ranked battles than it is for the co-op. Not to say that co-op battles aren't exactly hard. I mean, if you're like not doing anything, then obviously you're gonna lose. Um, or if you decide that you're going to go straight into, five of their ships and think that you're going to come out perfectly fine, then well, you're you're dreaming. You need to kind of slap yourself and wake up from whether or not you can actually kind of survive that. Um, you know, the their shots aren't great. Believe me, I know. I mean, I've done a couple of AI battles where it's like they were 3 feet in front of me and they were shooting the water like angled so far down that it was like they were shooting the water. So I was like, okay, you could be tearing me apart completely with this. So, um, but no, AIs tend to have a pretty bad aim more often than not. That doesn't mean that they can't get lucky. I mean, like I just like that last battle right there. I almost ran into some torps if I wasn't careful, and of course, the if it didn't continue, if it continued to lag me out, then I would have definitely ran into some torps. Would have killed me? Probably, but it would have, I would not have been able to go into that dogfight with those two battleships later, if that was the case. So, um, I mean, if you're smart enough on what you're doing, you should be able to kind of handle yourself fairly well um, with AI battles. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close it down for this week. So we have still quite a long ways to go for the building up the XP for the destroyer. Um, about 9,000 there. And then, of course, we have about 4,000 here. Now, the AI battles do not give a whole lot of XP, so it's probably going to be a longer grind. Um, so we'll see what we can do on that. We'll see what we can do. So we're gonna go ahead and sell off this. Don't need the tier 3 battleship anymore. Give myself the ship slot again. And then we're gonna go ahead and close it all down here there, folks. So all these videos that I do, all these streams that I do are uploaded to my YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out if you'd like. I have a link down below for that. I also have links to my Discord, my Patreon, and my Twitter account down below on my Twitch channel, as well as in the description of my YouTube videos. So feel free to check those out if you like. I have um, a schedule of what games I'm currently playing. Um, so if you're interested in seeing, um, what day we're on and what game I'm currently playing based off of that day, you can check out my schedule. And just so you know, I do this daily from 2 to 6 p.m. PST. So if you're ever interested in coming on by, stopping by, and saying hi, feel free to do so, or not. It's perfectly fine to lurk as well. So if you're lurking right now, That's perfectly fine. So thank you very much for that. Every little bit helps. So we are going to go ahead and close everything down. Um, hmm. Let me see about maybe rating someone today. So let me go ahead and stop my um, YouTube recording here, and then we'll look to see about finding someone online right now. So hold on one second.